Hello and welcome to another recording for my channel. This one is just going to be a quick review of Steam. Hopefully it won't be too long. So pretty much, Steam seems to be the most common platform for games to be involved with. Even some games that are involved with other platforms can be crossed over to this platform. So, not by choice, but you know, by coincidence, I have a lot of games on Steam. I also have a few games that I've seen in the shop, some older games which I have on disc. So I'll see if I can find the codes to go with them and activate them and play them. I know a lot of people don't like to see older games. I want to see the newer stuff come out. But if you're looking for a particular game, or you found an old game that you're retrying and you don't want and you don't know what you're doing, I'm more than happy to give that game a go if I have it, and give you a quick playthrough of how to get past a certain particular level or dungeon or boss, or whatever they. There's so many different terminologies out there, but you know what I'm talking about. So, Disciples, for instance, is a really old game. I think that's at least 15 to 20 years old. I can't actually get it to work on this. It's not Steam, it's the computer, because I actually had that as a standalone game on the system. It won't work with Windows 10, so I've got to find a patch to see if I can get that to work with Windows 10. Number 3 does work. I think Dota was a free sample game, which I didn't really get into. Fallout 3, again, I can't get this to work. I've never been able to get it to work. It says I've played 3 minutes, but that's just because I've tried several times. It's done a few seconds of loading and then crashing. I've got the Vegas expansion for number 3. I've got 4. I've got the iPhone game. Ooh, don't want to start that up. I got the iPhone game for Shelter and Tactics. Even though I had played one before, the original Fallout before this, Tactics is the one that really got me into the game. I don't know why, but I really like the gameplay, the storyline. But out of all the games, Tactics seems to be the one that doesn't follow canon. It's not considered to be a Fallout game as much as it is just a game with Fallout in the title. But yeah, this one's a different gameplay from 1 and 3 and 4. It's not. I don't think it's the official number 3, unofficial number 3. Like there was a 1, then there was a 2, I think. Then there was an expansion to number 2, and then this one came out, which was number 3, which again doesn't really count. This one is going to have a. Let's have a look. An expansion in the next couple of months. Spring of 2018. So that's American spring. We're in autumn here in Australia, so I'm guessing the next 2 to 3 months there's going to be the Intrigue expansion. I'm going to get that, depending on how much it costs, but I'm more than likely to be getting that. As you can see, I've got pretty much all the other expansions for it, except for this one. I just don't get it. It just seems to be different ship parts, which I don't care what the ship looked like, as long as it has functionality. So I'm not really into this. That's probably why it says a cheap one. It's not really a performance boosting in the game. It's just for looks. What else was there? There's Graphic Civilization. Homeworld is an older game again. I like this one. Off-World Trading Company. I've only played I only looked at the introduction, but I haven't had a chance to play this one yet. So there's probably one I'll do a playthrough soon. I just finished a playthrough for Surviving Mars, which seems to be very similar to this Off-World Trading. I think you're actually on Mars on this one as well. So Plague Inc. is a free-to-play game as well. It's pretty fun. You play as a virus and you've got to evolve beyond the human's ability to kill you off. And each level you finish, you actually get a special... let's see if I can just start one up. You actually get special bonuses to your start-off game, so you can actually... mutate faster, or have a certain sort of mutation that is less likely to be cured. Haven't actually I have played about 60 hours of it, but that is just playing the basic first level. Why is my computer frozen? Oh, there we go. Has it frozen or what?
Commencing autopsy 3. Time 2104. 27-year-old female infected with unknown pathogen. Blood analysis indicates virus. Provisional name is PAX-12. Deceased had traveled in China before returning home 2 weeks ago. That must have been pre-quarantine. Unknown if had contact with livestock, but I can definitely see evidence of insect bites. Deceased had reported coughing and sneezing with a high fever. I'm seeing a nasty rash, some abscesses around the abdominal cavity. Clear signs of immune suppression. Cause of death appears to be catastrophic organ failure. Findings match reports coming out of China. This is highly concerning. The deceased may still be infectious.
And that's just the starting up video to tell you what the game is.
I'm halting the autopsy in order to notify the authorities. Request a full lockdown of this facility. Effective immediately.
Yeah, the game's not that as intense as the video suggests at the beginning. But we'll just have a quick main game. Next. So you can be a bacteria, a virus, a fungus. Then as you unlock these levels, you get a Nurex worm, parasites, Pyron. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong, but you can see what I'm looking at here. No. Okay, so a bioweapon. This is Planet of the Apes. you actually become intelligent apes and become Planet of the Apes. Oh, there you go. It's actually there. And then you've got, I thought it'd say vampires. So these, I think, were mods or some sort of mod that they included into the main game. So that's the thing. You get this. Let's go to the next page. And unlocked. Okay, there you go. So you can unlock certain things. So these are all locked, but as you upgrade your abilities, one will unlock. You've got more and more. So just playing the basic, I think the first 1 or 2 levels, I've actually unlocked 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's have a look at the virus. I think it's got similar unlocks, but I'm not 100% certain. Okay, I've unlocked, yep. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, same unlocks. So yeah, if you want me to do a gameplay of this, I'm more than happy. This is pretty fun. Even just sitting here and playing it, it's a lot of fun. So Plague Inc. is a free game to play. So if you got Steam, just download it for the sake of it. It is fun. I've already done RimWorld. I didn't do a good playthrough. I'm gonna have to do a better one when I've got. I want to compare my original game playthrough to updated, where I've actually been able to remember things. I'm always stumbling over my words, trying to remember the name of certain things, trying to remember what you have to do next. I know what I have to do next, but I can't explain it. So I've got to try to get my speech better in these videos. I've been told at work that I have very poor speech grammar, so I can see it on my own videos. I need to really get my speech better, my explanation of things better. Civilizations 5. No, I do not want to start the game. See, what? No, I don't. Go away. I've got. It's not running. I've just turned it off. Okay. I've got Beyond Earth. I think yeah, I've got the Rising Tides. Yeah, I've got the expansion. I'm not sure if there's another one. There you go. Another expansion that it's. Okay, different maps. That's all that is. That's not what I wanted. I want to go back to my library. Sins of a Solar... Oh, Jesus, this is annoying. Sins of a Solar Empire. I have played a lot of it, but I honestly can't remember. This is unlocked today. Trinity. 2015 was the last time I played it. So it's been 3 years since I've last played this. But I did put 143 hours into it, so obviously I did enjoy the game. I honestly can't remember it. Stellaris and Sins of the Solar Empire might be very similar. I know that Stellaris and Galactic Civilization 3, it has very similar gameplay. You've got the ships, you've got the planets, you got to build smaller communities on the planets. You know, it's very similar but different gameplay. Subnautica, I just did a quick beginning of that game. Again, I'm more than happy to play more. About 40 hours of this gameplay was just me in one video, was just me swimming backwards and forward collecting resources. So I did about 7 hours of actual gameplay and 40 hours of just swimming backwards and forward collecting resources. That's what the game's like. You've got to collect resources to build better equipment. So these, you can see that a lot of these games are very slow-paced, hour, day, week-long games that you have to keep playing constantly. XCOM, I've finished this twice. I'm more than happy to play it again. I've played it quite a few times. I was going to actually get XCOM 2, but let's see if I can find it. Someone told me at work that they had just announced a sequel. It's just number 2. Sorry, an expansion for number 2. XCOM. Copper's Terror from the Deep. Okay, Lord, if I just so XCOM 2. XCOM 2. Oh, doesn't Steam have XCOM 2? Okay, doesn't look like Steam supports XCOM 2. I don't. There you go. XCOM pack. Okay, this seems to be before the... Am I looking at the right... XCOM... Ah, there's no gap in it. Maybe that's what the problem was. I put a gap. XCOM. How about that? Ah, there we go. XCOM 2. Digital collection. $100 for the collection. Let's have a look at... Chosen... Okay, so the expansion I'm not sure if the latest expansion's already come out, but there was talk of a new expansion at work. Some of my friends at work do actually play a lot of gaming as well. So okay, 2012. So it's been 6 years since it's been released, and they're still updating it. So obviously they've got the fan base there playing the game, so they're still upgrading the game even this year. So, so if you've ever played XCOM, the first one, in XCOM 2, the final outcome was that you did actually lose the war with the aliens, and this is they've basically taken control. I'm not sure if they've enslaved the human race. I think they've basically secretly enslaved the human race, but openly they seem to be working with us to improve everything. So, yeah, I will have to have a quick look at the... I won't go through it now because it's too much time wasting, but I will go through that and see if I can find the next update. So you see I've got the updates for all the updates for the original. Well, not the original, but the XCOM. When I say original, there's 1 and 2, but there are several XCOMs from before this, from many years ago. So this is the Steam one. More than happy to try any of the games in the store, as long as they're not too expensive, and I'm actually going to get them anyway, because XCOM 2 I will get. I enjoyed XCOM 1 very much. The XCOM 2 is a very different gameplay, I believe, and it's got different different enemies. Some of the enemies from previous XCOM games that weren't in the XCOM will be in XCOM 2. So yeah, I'm more than happy to try different games within the store, as long as they're not too expensive, then I can afford them. Yeah. VR, they're expensive in general, so I'm not gonna be doing any in any way. Even if I did, you wouldn't be able to see what I see. You'll just see it on the screen as you would normally see it on the screen. So VR is more of a personal thing. I'd probably, if I had the money, I'd probably do the VR, but I wouldn't record it because I wouldn't see the point. Yeah, so that's the Steam. Let's get rid of these things. Yeah. So yeah, Arc, Blizzard, Origin, Steam, Uplay are the 5 platforms I have at the moment. I'm more than happy to try different platforms. These games are the ones I have at my disposal at the moment, plus there's a few more on the menu options, but these are the ones I'm looking at playing for now. I'm more than happy to add to this list. If you have any suggestions on making this channel better, it is brand new. It is. I am still trying to get my legging down, trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this channel. I'm halfway between doing playthroughs and just starting off the game, so that it gives you a good footing on a new game. You can learn. I'm actually not playing the game and then playing it with knowledge. I'm playing it green, vanilla, so that you can see what mistakes I've made when you want to do your playthrough, just to try to avoid them. So with Surviving Mars, which was my last one, you've really got to get your infrastructure built. You've got to make it sure it's a small infrastructure, but that you've got a lot of resources to back it up. As soon as you can build that first dome, the first dome you need to make sure that all the resources are there to build all the buildings that you want to build in there, such as living quarters, farming, and recreational, food production. It's very tedious work. You've got to make sure that your population's happy, so you've got to make sure that they've got an education facility, so they're feeling smart, a place to socialize, like a bar or something, a shop to do grocery shopping. You've got to make sure that this dome is a little slice of earth, so that they feel happy and never want to leave. And then you've also got to make sure that with the population's happiness, you're producing the minerals, the resources needed to build and maintain your planetary base. So you've got to build a polymer factory, electronics factory, and I can't remember the third one, but there's another one that's a main one you've got to build. Oh, sorry, and there's a petrol one as well, which isn't a main one, but that does produce petrol for another building. So there's 4 buildings you've got to maintain, but the petrol is automated. The 3 other ones are used by people. Yeah, so you've really got to make sure that your base is ready to go when you get your first lot of people in. Because if you get a lot of people in and they're not happy, I found out that when you bring the second rocket with more population, I actually brought in 24 population, about 40 left. So I actually lost about 15 population. But that 20 population was just enough to get the buildings finished and everyone happy, because the employees the new population would have been employees within the bases, entertainment places, because I had them working elsewhere. Yeah, so that's a basic rundown of Steam and other games I'm willing to look at. If you have any suggestions, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.